12-2 to 9-4. Nick Saban retires. Kalen DeBoer comes in. What happened with Alabama this year? "2024 was a crazy year. We know it was. The GOAT Nick Saban retires. Catches everybody by surprise because normally you want to go out on top. He almost did. He went and lost to defending champion Michigan Wolverines. He did that. He retires. Everybody's thinking, oh my God, who Alabama's going to get? Kirby Smart, Urban Meyer, names like that. Maybe a few people was like Kalen DeBoer. Nick Saban went and handpicked Kalen DeBoer. And if you look at Kalen DeBoer coaching tenure, Kalen DeBoer is really a pretty darn good coach. Wherever Kalen DeBoer has been, he has won. But what happened when Kalen DeBoer got to Alabama? First, people were saying he wasn't going to be able to get the recruits that Nick Saban was getting. He proved us wrong. He was able to get still 5 stars and 4 stars that come to Alabama. So, kick that. He get to Alabama. He brings a high-powered offense. We all know what he did at Washington. He's going to air the ball out. Been really not much of a runner. He comes to Alabama. He does just that. He airs the ball out. So what happened? What happened? Why wasn't it successful as what Nick Saban was doing? Why did this year not excel the way we're used to seeing Alabama excel? One reason is why you lost the GOAT. Nick Saban stepped down. This man has been at Alabama, which feels like forever. Alabama has a standard, and that standard is to win. And it ain't just to win, but it's structure. Everybody speaks about Alabama and Nick Saban. It's going to be structure. You're not going to play for this man with no structure. That's a big thing on why this Alabama team in 24 was not good. Didn't excel because of it was not disciplined. Kalen DeBoer did not have this team the way Nick Saban had Alabama. It wasn't concrete. You had too many holes in it. You had too much disrespect. You had too many childish ways. Nick Saban wasn't going for it. You didn't see no punishment happen with Kalen DeBoer the way you did with Nick Saban. I don't care if you're a 5-star recruit. I don't care if you're my best player on the team. If you out here throwing your helmet down on the field, sit down, man. Sit down. That's Nick Saban. That's what we're used to seeing at Alabama. You didn't see that this year. You've seen a lot of guys get out of character. That ain't Alabama's standard. Nick Saban just left. So right now, Nick Saban is still in the presence of Alabama. He built this up. He made this what it is today. So when you bring a coach in, that coach has to be able to do the exact same thing that Nick Saban did. That is the culture of Alabama. That's the culture. It's hard work, dedication. That's what Alabama is. You got to come in and hard work. You got to be dedicated to do this hard work. And hard work and dedication leads to wins. Wins leads to championships. You got to do that. I don't think Kalen DeBoer was able to come in and stamp that this year. Honestly, is Kalen DeBoer compatible to Nick Saban? We all know what Nick Saban stood on, and it's defense. But if you watch Kalen DeBoer, he stands on offense. He likes a high-powered offense. Now, I'm not saying he does not want a good defense by far. Everybody wants a good defense. But if you watch that Washington team was a high-powered offense. Penix was up there in the nation, if not leading the nation in passing yards. He was, man. You didn't have it with Alabama. You didn't have A.J. McCarron leading the nation in passing yards. Maybe two. I think two was pretty high up there. But them guys had great running backs. Derrick Henry. Okay, Jamar Gibbs. You know, and even this year, Kalen DeBoer had it. Justice Haynes. But the difference between that and Saban is Saban uses running backs a lot more than Kalen DeBoer did. He wanted to pass the ball a lot more. He wanted to. A lot of times these guys won't touch the ball that much at all. It wouldn't happen with Alabama. With Nick Saban's Alabama, it wouldn't happen. So the reason I think this year team was not that good and did not excel the way we're used to seeing Alabama excel is getting the boy coming over from a different conference to the hardest conference there is in the SEC. Kellen Boyd did understand that every day you're going to have to do, every Saturday, you're going to have to bring your A game no matter who it's against. And it showed losing to Vanderbilt. Nick Saban once said, the hardest thing it is getting the kids to play against a no-name team. Nobody's worried about Vanderbilt, but look what happened. Nobody was worried about Oklahoma. Oklahoma didn't look worth nothing. Look what happened. The hardest thing to do is get your kids to prepare for games that they feel like, oh, we're going to go out here and have a cakewalk. That's Kellen Boyd wasn't used to that. Kellen Boyd don't understand that in the SEC, you're going to have to dominate the line of scrimmage. And not just with your quarterback. You got to be able to run the ball. Kellen Boyd didn't do that. He wanted to put in Jalen Miro on hand. Yeah, I understand that your quarterback was I would say your best runner. But they're not going to be able to, they're not going to respect the ground. You don't get your running backs involved. They're just not. And it showed. Didn't respect it at all. The defense. This is one of the lesser defenses we've seen at Alabama, if we be honest. Yeah, we got some names on that. They got some names at Alabama. But they always going to have that because they're Alabama. But the difference between this is the dedication and commitment. Okay? And the character of these players this year. You've seen the difference between Nick Saban and Kellen DeBoer. And I know I just keep repeating that, but that plays a big part in your program. So, what I think it is, moving forward, Kalen DeBoer is going to have to understand that I got to get structure in this house. I got to carry on what Nick Saban already had going. Add your own twist to it, but make sure you got guys committed, dedicated, and they have high character. They're disciplined, man. You cannot have a program without discipline. Nick Saban had all of that. And I don't care how good the player is, you're going to have to give punishment to your best players if they need it. Nick Saban didn't mind doing it at all. He would punish anybody, and we know that. That's why this Alabama team went 9-4. This why this Alabama team did not make the 12 teams playoff when we all know Alabama standards. This is why. Kalen DeBoer has to get used to the SEC. He has to understand that this is Nick Saban's house, even though Nick Saban is gone. He has to bring it. You got to come with it. You got to keep that concept because that is what Alabama is built off of. You got to have the Nick Saban mentality. No matter 20 years from now, it's still going to be Nick Saban. It's not going to be Kalen DeBoer. It's going to be Nick Saban. It's going to be Nick Saban. That's what happened this year with Alabama. It was the character, Granted, Kalen DeBoer coming over from a lesser conference and having to play every single Saturday. The character of his players. He didn't have the room the way he should. He didn't give out punishment like he should. That's what happened this year, to my opinion, to this Alabama team. Every Saturday is a ball game. So now we got to wait and see. What is Kalen DeBoer gonna do next year? What is he gonna bring in? How is he gonna build? How is he gonna gain this program back? Because we all know 9-4 is not acceptable in Alabama. And then you losing to teams you should not lose to. That's not gonna work at Alabama. So now we're gonna wait and see. Kalen DeBoer understands that he has big shoes to fill. I don't even think he's touched the surface yet in filling those shoes. He has a lot of work to do, and I mean a lot. So now we just got to sit back and watch the show. Can Kalen DeBoer make the state of Alabama happy that he's the head coach, and can he bring a national championship back to Tuscaloosa?